Mocking Earth cost them. Humanity broke every treaty in a single night. The first sign of trouble came quietly. From the orbit above Earth, alien ships hovered like dark shadows, casting long streaks across the blue planet. They were unlike anything humans had seen before, sleek, polished, and vast, with strange lights that pulsed like beating hearts. The largest of them, a silver-gray behemoth, moved slowly above the Atlantic, making every human satellite in its path seem tiny and fragile. Commander Ethan Moore stood on the bridge of Earth's orbital station, his eyes fixed on the alien fleet. He had spent most of his life preparing for something like this, but nothing in training or simulation had prepared him for the reality of it. The ship seemed alive in some way, moving not just with technology but with a kind of pride, a quiet confidence that humans could not match. "They're not here to negotiate," said Lucas Grant, standing behind Ethan with a tense posture. Lucas was the chief strategist of Earth's military council, and he had a sharp mind that could cut through any problem. He was the kind of man who noticed the tiniest detail, and right now, every detail was shouting danger. "They're watching," Ethan said softly. "They've been watching for a long time. Every move we've made, every new weapon, every satellite, they've seen it all. They're also mocking us," Maya Thompson added. She was a communications officer, young but brilliant. Her fingers flew over the console as she tapped into one of the alien broadcast channels. The words on the screen made her stomach twist. The aliens were sending messages, mocking humanity for its primitive technology and petty military forces. Ethan clenched his fists. "Primitive," he muttered. "They haven't even seen what we can do." Clara Benson, the head scientist of Earth's orbital research facility, leaned over the console. Her voice was calm, almost too calm. "They're arrogant, Commander. That's how they think they can control the galaxy." "But arrogance makes mistakes. We just need time to prepare." Ethan nodded slowly. "Time, that's the only thing we have left. They think this is a game, but we know better." Below them, Earth went about its usual business. Cities shone with lights, cars moved like streams of fire, and people hurried through their lives unaware of the massive fleet floating silently above them. Humanity had always been good at living in the shadow of danger, never noticing what was coming until it landed directly on their doorstep. In the command room, Ethan watched the alien ships move in patterns that were almost ritualistic. Each ship had a shape, a color, and a sound that was strange to human senses. They rotated slowly, almost lazily, as if testing the patience of the humans below, but Ethan could read the patterns. He had spent months studying alien fleets, and he knew that beneath that calm, they were calculating, assessing, and predicting every human action. "We need a plan," Lucas said. His eyes were fixed on a holographic display showing the positions of each alien vessel. "They're not just here to intimidate, they're here to claim dominance. If we don't respond correctly, Earth could be at risk." Clara shook her head. "Dominance is what they expect. That's the trap. If we act predictable, they win. If we act differently, if we think like humans, creative, adaptive, we might have a chance." Ethan turned to her, surprised. "You're saying we fight differently?" "Yes," she said simply. "They know the rules of war in the galaxy. They know tactics, strategy, formations. But they don't know how humans fight when pushed to the edge. We don't just follow rules, we break them." Maya glanced at both of them, her face serious. "Breaking rules is risky. We could start a war we're not ready for." Ethan's eyes narrowed. "Maya, look at them. They've already mocked us. They've already assumed we're weak. That alone is enough reason to prepare for everything. Every ship, every weapon, every system, we have to get ready. The moment they think they can laugh at us, they've lost control of the situation." On the surface, the first news reports were already spreading panic. Citizens had spotted the ships, and videos flooded social media. Some people were terrified, some were fascinated. The aliens broadcasted messages in multiple human languages, their voices distorted and mechanical, laughing at human inventions, human culture, even human history. "They think this is entertainment," Ethan said grimly. Lucas leaned forward. "Entertainment is dangerous. They're testing us, seeing if we respond with fear, seeing if we panic." Clara tapped a few keys and brought up a display showing satellite maps, orbital sensors, and weapon systems. "We've been preparing quietly for this for years," she said. "Not for their mockery, but for their attacks. But until now, no one outside this room knew. Every treaty they signed, every promise of peace, they assumed we had nothing behind them. They were wrong." Ethan's mind raced. He knew the risks. If humanity attacked first, it could be seen as a violation of galactic law. But if they waited, they would be treated as weak, and the Council could act without fear of resistance. Humanity had to move carefully, but it had to move decisively. "Prepare the fleet for observation," Ethan said. "Not engagement yet. I want full scans, full readiness, every ship online, every crew briefed. We need to know exactly what they are capable of." "Yes, Commander," Lucas replied. Maya continued monitoring the broadcasts. The aliens were making faces at Earth's defenses, showing their contempt in ways humans could understand. "They're not subtle," she said. "They're flaunting their superiority. Every message, every display, every ship is meant to humiliate us." Ethan leaned back in his chair. "Then let's make sure the next message they get from Earth isn't humiliation. It's warning." Meanwhile, below the orbital station, scientists and engineers worked tirelessly. In hidden labs and underground bunkers, teams led by Clara Benson were activating systems humans had barely whispered about in public. New starships were being powered up, older ships retrofitted with experimental weapons, and AI systems were upgraded to levels that even the aliens had not anticipated. In one facility, a group of engineers gathered around a sleek new ship. Its hull was sharp, angular, and reflective. They called it the Horizon. "It looks small," one technician said, "but it carries more firepower than a cruiser." Clara smiled faintly. "It's not just firepower, it's speed, stealth, and adaptability. They'll never know what hit them." On another planet-facing orbital platform, Ethan walked with Lucas, Maya, and Clara. He looked down at Earth. The planet had survived floods, wars, plagues, and economic collapses, yet humans still thrived. That resilience was what the aliens underestimated. "They see our cities, our technology, our history," Ethan said. "They think they know humanity. They don't. They can't imagine what desperation, courage, and ingenuity combined can do." Maya shook her head. "They'll be shocked." "They'll be terrified," Lucas said. "Once they realize we don't just react, we innovate, we plan in ways they can't predict." As night fell on Earth, the alien ships hovered silently. Stars reflected off their metallic surfaces, and Earth's own satellites glinted in response. For the first time in centuries, the galaxy was paying attention to a small blue planet. But above the calm surface, preparations continued. Every human involved knew the stakes. Every human involved understood that the next moves would determine the future not only of Earth, but of the perception of humanity across the galaxy. Ethan returned to the bridge, staring at the largest alien ship. He could almost feel the pride emanating from it, a confidence that only beings who had never faced true resistance could have. "They're going to make a mistake," he said quietly. "They always do when they underestimate humans." Clara joined him, her eyes reflecting the stars. "And when they do, we'll be ready. Every system, every fleet, every weapon, all waiting for that moment." Maya adjusted her headset, scanning the latest alien signals. "They're laughing again," she said. "They still think this is a joke." Ethan's lips pressed into a thin line. "Then we let them laugh, let them mock. Because when the night ends, it won't be jokes. It'll be consequences, and humanity has never been better at delivering consequences." Below them, Earth's people continued their lives, oblivious to the looming shadow. Yet the unseen hands of human innovation, determination, and quiet fury were at work, preparing for a night that would change the galaxy forever. For centuries, the stars had looked down on humanity and assumed weakness. For centuries, humans had endured, adapted, and survived. And now, for the first time, they were ready to show the universe what it truly meant to provoke Earth. The countdown had begun. The next day, the aliens made their intentions clear. Broadcasts reached Earth from every corner of space, in voices and images designed to humiliate. The Zorvans, the Krylians, and the Veltrax showed scenes of their massive fleets, spinning slowly as if mocking the tiny human defenses. They laughed at Earth's old satellites, at the relatively small ships in orbit, and even at human cities, showing them as fragile and insignificant. In the communications hub, Maya Thompson tapped the console frantically. "They're not subtle at all," she said. "Every word, every image, they want us to feel weak, they want us to panic." Ethan Moore paced behind her. "Let them try, mockery is easy, revenge is harder, we just need patience." Lucas Grant shook his head, pointing at the tactical screen. "Patience, they're testing us. Every broadcast is designed to provoke a response. If we react recklessly, they'll use it as an excuse to attack." Clara Benson spoke calmly from her workstation. They think they know humans. That's their mistake. Humans don't just react. Humans plan, adapt, and improvise. Let them laugh. We'll show them what happens when they underestimate us. Despite the mocking messages, life on Earth continued. People went to work, children played in parks, and news channels reported strange sightings in the sky. The alien ships were massive, yes, but their presence seemed almost unreal. Many people thought they were elaborate projections or media tricks. Still, governments moved quietly. Underground bunkers, hidden shipyards, and orbital stations were all active. Humans worked in silence, preparing for something the aliens did not expect. They had been planning this for years, building ships and weapons in secret, creating AI systems far beyond anything the aliens had predicted. In one hidden orbital dock, a small group of engineers gathered around a new vessel. It was sleek, painted in dark shades to blend with space and lined with unknown technology. "Do you think it will work?" asked a young technician named Ryan. Clara smiled slightly. "It has to. The aliens have underestimated us for too long. They think humans are weak. They think we follow rules, but rules are not our strength. Innovation is." Ryan nodded, but doubt lingered in his eyes. "It feels impossible. I mean, they're so advanced." "That's why it's perfect," Clara said. "They don't expect humans to find a way to turn their own assumptions against them. They see their strength, but they don't see our creativity, and creativity is dangerous." Meanwhile, Ethan and Lucas were in a separate command room, observing alien movements in real time. The Zorvans had deployed scout ships near major cities, watching for any signs of military readiness. The Krylians had sent messages openly mocking the Earth fleet, calling it ant-like and laughable. Even the Veltrax, who were usually silent, sent coded messages to human satellites filled with disdainful symbols. "They're enjoying themselves too much," Lucas said. "They think they've already won." "Let them think that," Ethan replied. "Humans are patient, and patience has a power aliens never understand. They don't know how far we can go when pushed to the edge." In a laboratory beneath the surface of North America, Clara and her team activated a network of orbital drones. Each drone was small, agile, and capable of attacking larger ships with precise accuracy. They were connected to AI systems that could learn and adapt in seconds. "Once they engage, these drones will move faster than anything they've ever seen," Clara explained. "And they won't just fight. They'll confuse, disorient, and control the battlefield in ways the aliens can't predict." Above them, the alien ships continued to display their arrogance. Large screens on their hulls projected images of human military exercises, zoomed in and presented as clumsy and outdated. Videos of old naval ships, fighter planes, and space tests were broadcast across channels with commentary that mocked every detail. Maya winced as she watched one of the messages. "They're showing us as if we're children playing with toys. It's insulting," Lucas grunted. "They don't realize that toys in the wrong hands can destroy empires." Ethan walked to the window of the orbital station and looked down at Earth. From up there, the planet seemed peaceful, completely unaware of the alien presence above. People went about their lives, living in ignorance of the war that had already begun in the minds of their leaders and soldiers. "They're not ready," Ethan said quietly. "No one is, and that's the advantage." On the ground, governments held emergency meetings with military commanders. Plans were drafted, revised, and stored in secret. Civilians were kept in the dark, as much for safety as for surprise. Even news broadcasts were carefully controlled, reporting sightings as strange phenomena rather than foreign ships. In the orbital docks, engineers like Ryan worked tirelessly on new technology. Ships were upgraded with faster engines, better shields, and experimental weapons. Each edition was tested under strict secrecy, using simulations that mimicked alien technology. One night, Ryan looked up at the alien ships outside the station. They glowed faintly in the darkness of space, ominous and silent. "Do you think we can really fight them?" he asked Clara. Clara did not look away from the console. "We don't fight like they do. We fight like humans. That means using every resource, every idea, every bit of courage we have. They will not see us coming until it's too late." In another part of the command center, Maya intercepted a new message from the Krylians. This one was worse than before. It showed simulations of human cities being destroyed, of fleets being torn apart, all in vivid detail. The aliens spoke over the images, laughing as they described humanity's defeat. "They think we're fragile," Maya said, her voice tight. They really believe we can't fight back. Fragile, Ethan muttered. They're about to learn how wrong they are. Lucas leaned forward at the tactical display. They're trying to get us to act. They want a mistake. They want us to react out of anger, to attack without thought. That's when they strike for real. Then we don't react, Ethan said. We prepare. And when the time comes, we strike with precision. Every move calculated, every action planned. We don't let them control the game. As the hours passed, the aliens continued their mockery. They projected images of humans struggling with technology, of past wars, of failures. Each broadcast was designed to provoke, to insult, and to destabilize morale. Yet, in hidden labs, docks, and command centers, humans continued their preparations. Ships were launched for covert testing. AI systems ran simulations of every alien strategy, and tactical plans were written and rewritten. Clara stood in front of a large holographic map of the solar system. Every move they make is predictable only if you think like them. Humans think differently, we can see patterns they don't, and that's where we have our advantage. Ryan looked at her a little awed. But they're so advanced, how can we match them? Clara smiled faintly. We don't need to match them, we need to surprise them. We need to break their expectations. That's the human way. Ethan returned to the bridge as the alien ships moved into a tighter formation above Earth. It was a show of strength, meant to intimidate. The Zorvans, largest and most aggressive, moved in front of the Krylians and Veltrax, as if leading the mockery. They think this is a parade, Ethan said. They think they're showing dominance, but every step they take makes them slower to react when we finally strike. Maya nodded, monitoring every signal, and they won't see it coming, not even close. Lucas studied the displays of the alien ships. We've already mapped weak points in their formations. Their arrogance makes them predictable. Every broadcast, every move, they're giving us information we need to win. Clara turned from her console. And while they're watching us, thinking we're small and weak, our real preparation is happening elsewhere. Ships are ready, weapons are ready, AI systems are ready. Every human soldier, every engineer, every scientist, they're all part of this. Ethan's gaze returned to the glowing ships above. He could feel the tension in the air, the kind of quiet before a storm. Let them mock, he said softly. Let them think they're superior. Because when they finally understand, it will be too late for them to stop us. The alien broadcasts continued through the night. Mockery, laughter, and projections of human weakness filled every channel. Yet in the shadows, humans worked tirelessly. No one panicked. No one faltered. Every move, every invention, every plan was a step toward proving that humanity was not to be underestimated. And far above, in orbit, Commander Ethan Moore knew the truth. The night of mockery was only the beginning. Humanity was preparing for a response that no alien could predict, a response that would change the way the galaxy saw Earth forever. For the aliens, it was a game of arrogance. For humans, it was a careful preparation. And in that difference, victory quietly waited. The night had finally arrived. Silence fell across Earth's hidden command centers, orbital docks, and underground laboratories. Outside, alien ships glowed against the black of space, moving slowly, confident that the humans were still weak, still small, still harmless. They had mocked Earth for days, laughing at human technology, human strategy, and human courage. But now they would learn that mocking humans came at a terrible cost. Commander Ethan Moore stood on the bridge of Earth's main orbital station. Around him, monitors flickered with the positions of every alien ship. Every movement they made had been studied, every formation mapped, and every weakness noted. The moment had come to act. Lucas Grant spoke quietly, his voice steady. The drones are ready, the strike teams are in position, the AI is connected, every ship is ready for deployment. Ethan nodded. Then let's begin. Remember, no mistakes. Timing is everything. Every move must be coordinated, or we risk losing the advantage we've fought so hard to gain. In the depths of space, small human ships detached silently from hidden docks. They were fast, sleek, and nearly invisible against the dark backdrop of the stars. AI-guided drones followed, each programmed to attack and defend with precision beyond what the aliens could expect. Maya Thompson monitored alien communications, listening carefully. The Krylians were still broadcasting messages, still mocking humans. They're still laughing, she said. They don't even know what's coming. They will, Ethan said quietly, his eyes on the screens. They will. On Earth, cities remained quiet. Most people had no idea what was about to happen. Only a few scientists, engineers, and military personnel knew the full scale of the operation. They had worked for years in secret, preparing for this night, preparing to prove that humanity was not weak. Clara Benson activated the orbital drone network. Thousands of tiny ships moved like a swarm of lightning across space, invisible until they struck. They were equipped with energy disruptors and small-scale missiles, capable of disabling much larger alien ships in seconds. "Once we hit them, they won't know what's happening," Clara said. "Every move is calculated, every strike precise. The aliens will be shocked." The first wave of human ships moved closer to the Zorvan fleet. They kept low, hidden in the shadows of moons and asteroids, while AI systems predicted alien scanning patterns. The aliens had technology far beyond anything humans had in the past, but humans had something even more dangerous: unpredictability. "Commander," Lucas said, pointing at the tactical screen, "the Zorvans are scanning the system. They might notice the first ships. We need to move now." Ethan's hand rested lightly on the console. "Do it!" In an instant, the orbital drones erupted from their positions. They moved faster than the eye could follow, swarming toward the alien fleet. Energy disruptors hit first, cutting off power to key engines and shields. The largest Zorvan ship shuddered as systems went offline in seconds. Maya grinned as she watched the alien signals drop. "They're losing control. They thought they were safe," Ethan said. "They thought this was a game. They didn't realize humans plan for moments like this." The Krylians were next. Human ships engaged their scouts, using speed and agility to avoid direct confrontation while striking critical points. Small missiles disabled weapons and communication systems, leaving the alien ships confused and vulnerable. AI systems adapted to every maneuver the aliens made, predicting their responses and countering them before they could react. Clara watched the displays from the lab. "Every ship is disabled. Every formation is broken. They won't know what hit them." Above Earth, the Veltrax fleet tried to respond. They fired massive energy beams at human ships, but the drones moved too fast, dodging and striking back with precision strikes. Even their largest warships were forced to retreat as human technology proved faster, smarter, and more adaptive than anything they had expected. In the human command center, Ryan worked tirelessly to coordinate backup systems. "They're trying to regroup," he said. "But every path they take is blocked, every movement predicted." Lucas leaned over the console. "This is what happens when you underestimate humans. They can't plan for everything, but they can adapt to anything." Ethan looked at the glowing alien ships. "They mocked Earth thinking it was weak. They assumed we would panic, assumed defeat. But humans don't give up. We fight, we adapt, we survive. And when we strike with everything we have." The battle continued, unfolding across orbit and the outer edges of the solar system. Human ships attacked in waves, striking the aliens' weak points, disabling engines, weapons, and communication systems. Each success made the aliens more desperate. Their mocking messages became chaotic, full of fear and disbelief. "They didn't expect this," Maya said, her voice full of awe. "They thought they controlled everything." "They controlled arrogance," Ethan said. "They never controlled us, and they never will." Clara activated a new sequence of energy pulses, sending bursts of concentrated power into the largest alien ships. Systems overloaded, shields collapsed, and massive explosions lit the void. For the first time, the aliens saw humans not as weak, not as small, but as something dangerous, something unpredictable, something they had never faced before. Lucas clenched his fists. "They're falling apart. Entire formations are collapsing. They don't know how to fight this." Ryan watched the simulations on his screen. "And it's just the beginning. We've only shown them a fraction of what we can do." In the middle of the chaos, Ethan received a transmission from a human ship near the Veltrax lines. "Commander, the flagship is down. Their energy core is offline. Entire Veltrax division is in retreat." Ethan smiled faintly. "Good, keep pushing. Don't give them a chance to recover. Every moment counts." The alien ships were no longer mocking. They fired blindly, trying to hit anything, but human AI and tactics kept them one step ahead. Every maneuver the aliens made was anticipated and countered. The arrogance that had filled their broadcasts was gone, replaced by confusion and fear. Above Earth, orbital drones zipped past massive alien cruisers, disabling engines, shields, and weapon systems. Human ships followed, striking precise points that caused maximum disruption. Even the smallest human vessel had an impact far beyond its size because humans had learned to use every advantage creatively. Clara watched the progress reports, her fingers flying over the console. They thought they could laugh at us. Now they're running. Every move we make shows them how dangerous humans can be. Ethan stood silently, watching the screens. He thought about Earth below, about the people living their lives, oblivious to the war unfolding above. He thought about the centuries humans had survived against impossible odds. And he thought about the moment when humanity would finally be respected across the stars. The aliens tried one last desperate maneuver. The Zorvans sent their fastest ships in a direct assault toward the orbital station. But humans were ready. AI systems predicted the attack, redirecting drones to intercept, while human ships engaged the largest vessels in coordinated strikes. The Zorvans had never faced enemies who could anticipate their every move. Their arrogance became their undoing. Ethan watched as the final Zorvan cruiser went offline, its engines dead, its shields shattered. Silence filled the command room, broken only by the quiet hum of human technology. For a moment, no one moved. The reality of what they had done began to sink in. They didn't expect this, Maya whispered. No, Lucas said. They never expected it. And now they know humans are not weak. They know we fight differently, and they fear it. Clara smiled, exhausted but proud. This is what happens when you mock Earth. You think you understand us, but you don't. You can't. Humans survive, humans adapt, humans win. Ethan turned to look at the stars beyond the station. The alien ships were retreating, fleeing the solar system in disarray. The arrogance that had filled their broadcasts was replaced by fear. Humanity had broken their formations, shattered their confidence, and shown that no treaty, no mockery, no assumption of weakness could stand against the ingenuity and courage of people from Earth. Commander, Maya said softly, they're leaving. Ethan nodded. Let them leave. Let the galaxy see that humans cannot be mocked. Let them remember this night. Ryan leaned back in his chair, letting out a deep breath. We did it, all of it. They thought they were safe. They thought we were weak, and look at them now. Lucas placed a hand on Ethan's shoulder. They underestimated humanity, and that's the one mistake no alien ever survives. Clara turned from the console, looking out at the retreating alien fleet. And this is just the beginning. They'll tell others what happened. And the next time anyone thinks of mocking Earth, they'll think twice. Ethan walked to the window of the station, looking down at the blue planet. Cities glowed softly in the night, unaware of the battle that had just taken place above. Humanity had fought not just for survival, but for respect. And now the galaxy would see Earth differently forever. They mocked us, Ethan said quietly, and in a single night we broke every assumption they had. Every treaty, every promise of safety for them, it's gone. They will remember, they will fear, and we will be ready, always ready. The stars around Earth shimmered as if acknowledging the victory. The alien fleet fled into the darkness, a warning to all who might underestimate humanity. Ethan looked at his team, Lucas, Clara, Maya, Ryan, and nodded. Tonight, humanity showed what it means to be unstoppable, and the universe will never forget it. The night after the battle was quiet, almost peaceful. Earth spun beneath the stars, unaware of how close it had come to being humiliated or destroyed. Above the planet, human ships returned to their hidden docks. Drones landed in their stations, and the orbital command centers slowly powered down systems that had been working non-stop for hours. For the first time in decades, humanity had not only defended itself, but had struck fear into the hearts of beings who had thought themselves superior. Commander Ethan Moore stood on the bridge of the orbital station, watching Earth. The planet looked calm, beautiful, and fragile under the moonlight. But Ethan knew the truth. Humans were anything but fragile. They were resilient, clever, and unpredictable. Lucas Grant leaned against a console, exhausted but satisfied. They're going to tell everyone, he said. The Zorvans, Krylians, Veltrax, they'll spread the word. Every species that thinks they can mock humans will hear this story. They'll be careful next time, Ethan said quietly, or they'll be destroyed. Humanity is not the kind to forgive arrogance. Maya Thompson looked at the broadcast logs. All alien communications we've intercepted show confusion, fear. They don't know how we did it. Every system they trusted failed. Every plan they had was broken in a single night. Clara Benson smiled faintly. That's the thing about humans. We don't just fight. We adapt, we innovate, and we survive. The aliens can plan all they want, but they can't predict the human heart. Down on Earth, people noticed small changes. Satellites that had been offline returned. Communications systems stabilized. News channels reported strange events in the sky, but the story was incomplete, as if something massive had happened and no one knew the full truth. Governments released statements assuring the public that everything was under control, but the leaders knew the real truth. Humanity had just proven itself in a way the galaxy would remember. In the underground labs, engineers and scientists like Ryan and Clara reviewed every system. They inspected ships, drones, and AI networks, making sure everything was functioning correctly after the massive operation. Every success and failure was logged for future reference, lessons that would make humanity stronger in the years to come. Ryan shook his head in disbelief. "I still can't believe it. We actually did it. We defeated fleets that were supposed to be impossible to beat." Clara nodded. "Impossible is just a word aliens use when they underestimate humans. We've shown them that humans think differently, move differently, and fight differently. That's the advantage they never expected." Meanwhile, Ethan received updates from planetary forces. Cities were untouched, civilian lives had been spared, and no major infrastructure had been damaged. The operation had been surgical, precise, and efficient. Humanity had proven it could win without unnecessary destruction, a lesson that would be remembered across the galaxy. Lucas crossed his arms, a small smile on his face. "The galaxy will see us differently now. Anyone who underestimated Earth will think twice." "They'll fear us," Ethan said. "Not because we're cruel, but because we survive, because we fight back, because we are humans." Maya monitored alien channels. Even after retreating, the aliens were sending messages. They were reporting confusion, retreat, and fear to their own species. Every species in the galaxy that had laughed at humans would hear about this night. Humanity had become a force that could not be ignored. In one secret lab, Clara reviewed the AI performance logs. Every system worked as expected, but what impressed me most was the human decisions. AI followed instructions, but humans improvised at the right moment. That combination is what destroyed them. Strategy plus instinct, logic plus courage, that is humanity. Ryan watched quietly. "Do you think they'll ever come back?" Clara paused. "Some might, but next time they'll remember this night. Next time they'll think twice." Humanity doesn't forget, and we never forgive when we are mocked. Ethan turned to Lucas and Maya. "The galaxy will try to measure us by old standards, by treaties and rules, but humans are not measured by treaties. We are measured by our actions." And tonight our actions spoke louder than any words. Back on Earth, governments quietly prepared for future challenges. Humans knew the victory of this night was not the end. Other species would take note, some might come to negotiate, others might fear or attack. But humanity had earned a place in the galaxy not through diplomacy, but through courage, intelligence, and determination. In the orbital station, Ethan watched the stars. "We've sent a message," he said softly. "Every species that mocks humanity will pay attention. Every being that thinks we are weak will remember this night, and they will respect us or they will fail." Maya nodded. "The broadcasts we intercepted will be shared with the galaxy. They're sending the truth to everyone now, stories of human strategy, technology, and courage." "They can't hide it," Clara added. "We've also learned a lot. Every alien tactic, every system failure, every strength and weakness, we know it all. Humanity is ready for the next challenge, and we will not be surprised again." Lucas smiled faintly. "I never thought humans could be feared like this. But tonight, we've changed the galaxy's perception. It's not arrogance, it's truth. Humans survive, humans fight, humans win." Ethan turned to look at the team. "We've done more than survive tonight. We've proven that mocking Earth comes at a cost, that humans are not to be taken lightly, that humanity is not a species you can ignore, underestimate, or insult, and that truth will echo across the stars for generations." Below, Earth continued its quiet life. People went to work, children laughed in playgrounds, and life went on, unaware of the battle above. Yet humanity had changed. The night had shown what humans were capable of when pushed to the edge. It had shown that every human, every ship, every plan, and every mind could come together to create a force greater than any alien fleet. In the weeks that followed, the galaxy began to take notice. Reports of the alien retreat, the precision strikes, and the human ingenuity spread through interstellar networks. Some species sent observers to Earth, curious, cautious, and respectful. Others avoided contact, remembering the humans who could strike like lightning when underestimated. Clara in her lab studied the reports with quiet satisfaction. "They will never mock humans again," she said, "and they will remember that Earth is not a place to test arrogance." Ethan walked through the orbital station one last time, looking at the ships that had returned safely. Each vessel was a symbol of human resilience and intelligence. "Every person who worked tonight," he said, "every scientist, every engineer, every soldier, they showed the galaxy what it means to be human." Maya joined him. "Do you think they understand now?" Ethan smiled faintly. "Some do, others will learn." The message is simple. Humanity cannot be underestimated, humanity cannot be mocked, and humanity will always fight for survival. Lucas added quietly, "And the galaxy will respect us, maybe even fear us a little, but respect is what we earned tonight. Fear is what we were given for free." In the quiet hours, as the stars twinkled above and Earth rotated peacefully below, the humans reflected on their victory. They had broken every assumption, every treaty, and every expectation the aliens had of them. They had acted with intelligence, courage, and precision, proving that mocking Earth came at a cost no one could survive. Ryan looked out of the lab window at the stars. "Do you think they'll ever come back?" Clara nodded slowly. "Maybe, but when they do, they will remember. And when they remember, they will know humans are not a species to be tested lightly. Humans are clever, resilient, and unstoppable when challenged." Ethan stood silently, looking at the blue planet below. He thought of the generations that had come before, the struggles humans had endured, and the resilience that had carried them this far. "They mocked us," he said softly, "and we responded, not with fear, not with retreat, but with everything we had." And the galaxy learned a simple truth: mocking Earth comes at a price, and humanity always pays back, stronger than anyone could imagine. Maya smiled faintly. "We changed everything tonight. We didn't just win a battle, we won respect. We won a place in the galaxy that no one can take from us." Lucas nodded. "And now we prepare for the future. The galaxy will come, but so will we. Always ready, always smart, always human." Clara turned back to her work, checking systems and reviewing reports. "The night is over, but the lessons remain. Humanity has shown what it means to survive, to fight, and to triumph, and will never stop." Ethan looked at his team one last time. "This is humanity, not just Earth, not just soldiers or scientists. Every person, every mind, every heart. We are not weak, we are not small, we are humans, and we will be remembered." Above Earth, the stars shone brightly, witnesses to a new era. The aliens had learned a lesson that would echo through the galaxy. Never mock humans, never underestimate them, and never assume they are weak. Humanity had broken every expectation in a single night, proving that courage, intelligence, and resilience could triumph over arrogance, size, and technology. And as the first rays of sunlight touched Earth, the humans celebrated quietly, knowing that the galaxy had changed forever. Respect had been earned, fear had been instilled, and humanity had finally taken its true place among the stars. Ethan looked down at Earth, smiling softly. "We've done it," he said. "The universe will remember tonight, and humanity will always be ready for the next challenge." The night was over, but the legend of humanity had only just begun.